Good morning, Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. Alright folks, I just selected my truck here at Swift Transportation. I want to share it with you, but before I do, I want to tell you about the air conditioner in this thing. Look, it's actually blowing so hard it's blowing my hair up. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not. But anyway, back on subject. So you guys know that in recent years, I've really had a thing for PACCAR products. I've liked Kenworths, I've liked Peterbilts, and even though my Kenworth last year broke down twice, both times I waited on parts for 3 weeks. And so this time I wanted to get a truck that I wouldn't have as many supply chain issues. I know everybody's having supply chain issues right now, but if I had a breakdown, I wanted something where parts availability would not be a big problem. And as you guys know, TA is able to do a lot of warranty work on Freightliner. Freightliner is the manufacturer that sells the most trucks in the United States, and so it's a more common truck. But I had such a, I don't want to say negative opinion about Freightliner. As I said, I can argue good or bad about any of the trucks, but I didn't really want a Freightliner, and I changed my mind. Now, I've said all that to say this. We're in weird times right now where fuel is at record high, parts are hard to come by, just the whole supply chain is screwed up right now. And for people to survive when there's changes in the marketplace, you have to be willing to grow and adapt. I'm adopting strategies that I've never done before. For example, yesterday I drove 60 miles an hour all day. I did notice a big fuel increase. I averaged between 9.4 and 9.5 on the digital gauge. Now, I realize those gauges can be off a little bit, and so I will be monitoring that, and hopefully in a month or so I can give you more accurate numbers. But just from a digital standpoint, I was real happy with that. And so there's a lot to this truck. At Swift, they have basically two different levels of trucks. They have what I would call a company spec truck, and then they have a lease purchase / owner operator spec truck, which is what this is. And while it's not fully loaded, and I know some of you guys are going to get in the comments and tell me that your Freightliner's nicer than mine, or something like that, your Freightliner's cheaper than mine, all I'm going to say is congratulations, and I'm happy for you. I really like this truck, and what I'd like to do right now is show you this truck, and then I'll tell you some more information about it after I show you the truck, as far as payments and stuff like that. So before we do that, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're still subscribed. Share this video on your social media platform, and also in the description below and in the comments, I'll put the information if you'd like to contact the recruiter about coming to work here at Swift Transportation. If you do call on your own, make sure you tell them you've been watching me. Most of them don't know who Trucker Todd is yet, but I'd like them to get to know me. So give them my truck number. It's easy to memorize, 222-999. That's right. Tell them you've been watching Truck 222999 on YouTube. That helps me out, and it'll also allow me to help you out if there's any problems or something. You never know. Sometimes I can help, behind the scenes doing stuff. So anyway, let's cue up the music, and then we'll go right into looking at the truck without wasting any more time. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs, with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
hope I can get a good video here where you guys can see it. I've got the hood up now. This is going to be my truck here at Swift Transportation. It's going to look black in the pictures because it's early morning the way the sun's hitting it. It's actually a dark blue, and I want you to see this. I love the truck number 222999. So if you guys can't remember my driver code when you call in, you can always tell them 222999. This truck is a 2022 Freightliner, has 28,000 miles on it. There's the engine, the DD15 series. I wasn't able to climb up there and get the horsepower ratings today, but I'll try to do that in a future video. I didn't want to get dirty or anything like that, but truck's in really great condition. Looks like a brand new truck. I'm going to show you the inside. It's got some of the most comfortable seats, honestly, that I have ever sat in. It's got the little door here that opens up to the sleeper. That's real handy when you go to Walmart and stuff. You can get groceries and deposit them directly into the sleeper. Back here, I actually like this. I know, I'm not sure what happened, my camera cut out. There's the chrome grille and another side profile shot of it. And now let's go take a look at the inside. Here is the door panel. I like kind of the clean, simple design. I like the dark colors because they hide stains better. It does have the rubber floors, which I have carpet floor mats I put in here, and really helps to keep it clean. The seats, as I was mentioning earlier, are super comfortable. They are leather. You do see a little bit of wear here where driver that had it before me hopped in and out, you can tell. Here's the wraparound curtains up here. Let's get in. My phone's in here and my water bottle, so you'll see those. So it's got your steering wheel controls and the dash. We'll get in here in a second. I'll start it up for you. Here's the switches down here. It's they have two different trim levels here at Swift, and this one is the fancier one. They do make a cheaper, less optioned Freightliner that they offer. I call it the company truck, and I call this the lease spec truck. I would call it upper mid-level. Obviously there are fancier Freightliners on the market. Looked online yesterday. You can actually spend about $240,000, I believe it was, on a Freightliner. There's the Zonar, which it's basically a Samsung tablet. It's a little warm in here. Let's crank the truck, and then we'll go back and I'll show you the sleeper. So I'm going to scoot the steering wheel down so you guys can see. There's what the startup looks like. Obviously the air brake pressure's low. The truck's been off for a few days, I imagine. Took a minute to start. That's more indication that it's been off a few days. I got lucky. It's got over a half a tank of DEF and a half a tank of fuel. That gives you a nice start. Obviously the air pressure is low, as you would expect. It should build up pretty quickly. The radio is Sirius equipped, and it's got a CD player I'll probably never use. It does not have an APU. Swift doesn't offer those anymore. It does have the Opti-Idle, I believe is what Freightliner calls theirs. Let's move to the back. There's my water bottle I was talking about. Maybe I can get a little more light back here. It does have the LED lights up there, and you can dim them to your preferred light amount that you desire. tons of storage up here, in here, and up top. Here's the permit book. All the owner's manuals are still in here. I like that. It goes around and you can see it's really deep. You can put a lot of stuff back there. I'm able to go all the way up to my elbow. More storage over here, pretty deep storage. I usually put paperwork and stuff like that up there. Back in the back, you've got a lot of storage up there. There's even some up there. I may can climb up there and show you. And then back here you've got vents if you're up top on the top bunk, and you've got light controls up there as well. And so that's pretty well optioned for the top person as well. Coming down here, there's your bunk heater, and then going further down, here's the controls down here. I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot about the Freightliner Optiodal on these new trucks. I know you set it up front, and I'm gonna have to do a little research on how that works. Here's the storage on the other side up top. You can see it's a decent amount. And then you've got another cabinet right here with just a lot of room. Here's your microwave slot, and here's where my video game console goes, where my water's sitting. It does have the pull-out desk, which it's not really a desk, it's more of a drawer. You put pens and pencils and things like that in there, paper clips such as that. So that's nice to have. And then you know, I'm not too worried about the desk itself. I actually have a metal clipboard I use for that kind of thing. Then down here's the refrigerator. The little metal shelves are missing. I'm not too worried about that. I can get some more, but it does have the small freezer and everything. It is factory installed, and that's nice to see. Up there's your TV mount. That swings both ways. You actually swing it over here against the wall and it's out of the way, and then you can swing it out here when you want to watch it if you're sitting on the bed. I like this design because if my wife's with me and sitting in the front seat, I can swing the TV in the middle right here and we can both watch TV. You've got the little windows on both sides on the bottom bunk, what I call the drive-through windows, and because they open like a drive-through window, up and down, a vertical deal. So it's nice to get a good cross breeze, save you from idling. And then over here is the one that opens, the access door. That's a safety thing. If there was a fire, it makes it easier to get out. But it's also a great way to load groceries if you're at Walmart. Now, Swift also gives you an 8-inch memory foam mattress, is what I'm told. And I hope that's the case, because I've worked at some companies recently, I'm not going to name any names, where the mattress was like a prison mattress, for lack of a better term, and I had to pay to get an upgraded mattress. A good mattress can run you, you know, $500 or $600, and I've got some connections where I can get them for $200 or $300, but it's still a expensive proposition. That net I'm focusing on right now is a safety net. You're supposed to use that if you're sleeping while the truck's in motion. Obviously you wouldn't be sleeping, but if you had a co-driver or a passenger that wanted to lay down while you're driving, they're supposed to buckle that. And this is really neat. Here's the top bunk. We'll twist this. This will come down. Sorry, this is hard to do one-handed. There's not a mattress up there, and I'm okay with that. I'm sure they'd give me one if I want it, but this is where I use a lot of storage. And so I'll be storing a lot of stuff up here. I'm not seeing the net, and so I'm going to ask about that. It may be under the bunk. We'll look here in just a second. It does have the speakers up there, and there are reading lights and additional windows if you did have a passenger up here. But I do need the net, because or I'll have to do something to secure cargo up there so that nothing falls down while I'm in transit. The other cool thing about these Freightliners, I wanted to make sure I show this. You pull this lever here, if I can do it one-handed. Ah, there we go. This comes down, these go down, and you've got a ladder. It'll go all the way to the floor. I'm not going to take it down. You got a ladder to go up there. Prior to this, I'll have to latch it in a minute. It's hard to do one-handed. Prior to the ladder being there, you had to climb up on these cabinets, and it was kind of an ordeal to get up and down, but this really makes it nice. And so I'm gonna hop off of here and we'll go back to talking because this video is already getting long. So after further inspection, these nets, there's actually two down here. One of them goes to the top bunk. This one obviously goes to the bottom bunk. So there is a way to secure your stuff up top. But I did realize in saying that I hadn't shown you guys under the bunk. Now obviously everything's not in here yet, but you can see there's a ton of storage under here, and it helps that it has the little doors on both sides so that you can store stuff. A lot of times on the passenger side there won't be a door, sometimes even on the driver's side, and it makes it'll take a lot of effort to get stuff in and out. Now over here, there's your triangles, there's your snow chains. They're not required this time of year, and I probably won't use them anyway. I'll probably switch to my tire socks that I've got in storage. Also, you've got a couple of wheel chocks down there. Real nice to have, especially when... Alrighty, we're back. I forgot to mention a few things earlier that I really want to tell you about. On Friday, I'm going to tell you why I chose to come to Swift Transportation. Also, in my first video about Swift, I mentioned that I couldn't find their safer score on the internet. I don't know why I couldn't. Another Swift driver found it real quick, sent it to me, and so I'll give you a preview of it. It was just like the rumors I'd heard. Their safer score is great, better than probably the majority of companies out there, and I know some people are surprised by that. Definitely a top tier safer score for a company that trains. But anyway, on Friday we'll briefly touch on that because I'm going to be talking about why I decided to come to work here at Swift Transportation. And then on Monday we're going to talk about bonehead truckers. If you work at Swift and you're at any level where people talk to you a lot, or where you get recognized or things like that, people always say, well, what do you think about bonehead truckers? Or I could never work at Swift because I've seen what bonehead truckers says about them. So I'm going to tell you what I think about bonehead truckers and their videos, and my answer might surprise you. So I would encourage you guys to make sure you're subscribed so that you receive a notification when those videos come out. It's free to do and you'll be glad you did. I think it's going to be entertaining. Also, I want to remind everybody that I'll be in a podcast on June 25th, and I'd like you guys to join that too. It's called Ships, like, you know, ships in the sea. Ships Gonna Happen. And I'll be providing links and stuff when it gets closer to time. It's a great podcast, and I've enjoyed listening to it, and I think you'll like it as well. I've never done one before, so I'm real curious what I'll say, and hopefully it'll turn out okay. But I want to talk about this Freightliner without wasting any more time. I loaded my stuff in this truck. It was over 100 degrees, and that's part of why this video is late today. I was pouring sweat, tired. I then picked up a load, went to Houston, delivered it, picked up another one that's going to Colorado. So I drove a large portion of the night, and then I got up this morning, had breakfast, and ate a shower. I want to start off by saying this bed was comfortable. A lot of companies, and I'm not going to name any names, let's just say companies I've worked at recently, in the last few years, they put a little prison mattress in there about that thick that hurt your back and was uncomfortable, and I would always go buy a nice one because I didn't know this, or I mean I knew it, but a lot of people didn't know. Truck mattresses are different sizes for different brands of trucks. And so here at Swift, they gave me, and I assume it's this way at all the terminals, like an 8-inch memory foam mattress that would have easily cost $500 or $600 had I went out and bought it on my own. I had one of the best night's sleep that I've ever had. I also want to talk about the OptiIdle system on these Freightliners. I gotta say, it's the best I've dealt with. I've had Volvos recently. I've had Peterbilt and Kenworth recently. This surpasses all of those. Now, I've been real impressed with this Freightliner. I hadn't drove a Freightliner in about 5 or 6 years. And like I said, this is the lease purchase one. It's not the company driver spec one. I'd actually like to drive a... sorry about that. My phone overheated and rebooted. So I'm back now. What I was saying was I would like to drive one of the basic company Freightliner trucks for, I don't know, a few minutes or an hour or whatever, and see what the differences are as far as, well, let me give it to you an example like this. It's really well insulated. It's quiet going down the road. I wonder if the company spec Freightliners are this quiet and well insulated. The OptiIdle, which I'm sure is on all the Freightliners that are optioned that way, it's probably the same unit on all of them, is outstanding. It's the first optimized idle system that I've ran across that I can honestly say it's very, very, very close to as good as an APU. I can live with it. This one, I didn't mention it in the video, the sleeper, the walls have more padding than what I've ever experienced in any other truck, Freightliner or otherwise. Now, I'm not saying this truck's loaded out. I am saying that it's an upper mid-level truck that I'm very happy with. As you guys know, the Peterbilt I had at the previous company was a basic truck, and I liked it as well. This one is more optioned. Now, as far as payments, I looked online because I didn't really know what a new Freightliner cost. And what I found was they range anywhere from $160,000 up to $240,000. This truck had 28,000 miles on it. It was about 8 or 9 weeks of use on it. So I'm basically calling it a brand new truck. It's still pretty new. It's still going through the break-in process, but it's an upper mid-level truck. Now, if I make all the payments to the very end, it's going to be $216,000, which would fall right in that upper mid-tier range. It's not $240,000 and it's not $160,000. Now, some of you are going to say, well, that's still too much. Think about this. It's 197 weeks is how long it's financed for, and then it's got a balloon on the end of it. Anyway, the total with the balloon and everything works out to $216,000. It's $676 a week. Now, at $216,000, remember I said the top was $240,000. We're right there. Now, I'm also not paying interest on that during that term. It's just a straight deal. So, if I went to a dealership, as you guys love to bring up, I would pay interest. And as a first-time truck buyer, I'd probably be expected to put somewhere around $40,000 to $50,000 down right now. And if I got lucky, I'd get a 10% interest rate, but more than likely it'd be in the 15 to 18% finance rate, being a first-time truck buyer. So, one more thing to consider about that. If things don't work, I can walk away from this lease. And I say things don't work. If I had a heart attack, couldn't drive. If I had a family emergency that required me to walk away from trucking, I could get out of this. If I went to a dealership and purchased one, I could do none of those things. The finance company would still expect that payment. And so what would end up happening is at some point it would get repoed. Not foreclosed on, it's not a house. But anyway, it would get repoed, and I would have a $100,000 dent or a $200,000 dent on my credit, which would be real hard to overcome. This is a walkaway lease, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with the truck. I could go on and on. That's part of why the video section of the truck was so long, is I was excited when I saw it. And Freightliner's made a lot of positive changes. And so I don't want to make this video any longer. I'm already way past the 15-minute mark that I like to cut videos off. But I felt it was real important to hammer some of these points through and for you guys to understand why I got this Freightliner. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I got to start heading towards Colorado. But thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all stay with me. We got a lot more to come. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.